3 times the size of Texas, cold enough to freeze your breath in seconds. And strangely, only about 56,000 people live here. This is Greenland. But you'll need quite some time to spot even a patch of green among the endless ice. So, why is such a massive island almost uninhabited? Why is it called Greenland, which sounds like a tropical paradise when it's frozen year-round? And the most surprising question of all, why are world powers like the US and China quietly turning their eyes toward this icy, remote land? Greenland is more than just a giant ice sheet. It's a land of paradoxes, vast yet empty, isolated yet geopolitically vital, ancient yet possibly holding the key to the future. Today, let's explore a place few choose to live in and discover why it may soon become the center of something much bigger. Let's begin our journey to Greenland, the coldest place on Earth, and maybe the hottest in terms of global interest. 1. Why is Greenland so big, yet so empty? Imagine someone gave you an island bigger than France, filled with mountains, coastlines, and untouched valleys. Sounds like a dream, right? But when you land in Nuuk, Greenland's capital, you'll find almost nothing. Just a quiet town tucked beside a frozen fjord, wind howling through rooftops, and snowy peaks in the distance. Here's the first challenge: ice. Over 80% of Greenland is buried under ice sheets, sometimes over a mile thick. Despite its massive size, nearly a quarter the size of the US. Only around 20% of the land is actually livable, mostly narrow strips along the western and southern coasts. But that's just the beginning. Greenland has no roads connecting its towns and cities. To get around, people fly in small planes, ride boats, or wait for the weather to permit helicopter flights. And imagine living somewhere with winters lasting 9 months, just a few hours of daylight, and freezing winds that keep you indoors for days. Farming? Nearly impossible. Most food must be imported, a costly and unreliable process due to harsh conditions and isolation. Some might ask, why does Iceland or Norway thrive at similar latitudes, while Greenland remains so empty? The answer? The Gulf Stream. It warms northern Europe but misses Greenland, leaving it much colder and less hospitable. Geographically, Greenland also faces away from Europe and towards northern Canada, another sparsely populated, cold region. There are no major nearby markets, no bustling trade routes, no easy neighbors. In the end, Greenland became a massive blank space, forgotten by most. But within that blankness lies a treasure trove of stories, history, people, and silent geopolitical chess moves happening in the background. To understand the first twist in Greenland's story, we have to go back in time to a man named Eric, a Viking who turned a frozen island into a land of promise, simply by giving it the right name. 2. Greenland, a green land? Or just a clever promise? Around 982 AD, a red-haired man named Eric the Red was banished from Iceland for murder. But Eric didn't vanish quietly. He sailed west into the unknown, through icy mists, and stumbled upon a massive frozen island. In the southern part, during summer, he saw patches of green moss among black rock. And that's when he had an idea. He called the land Greenland. Not because it was green, but because he wanted it to sound green. Back in Iceland, Eric told struggling farmers about a beautiful, fertile land just waiting to be settled. And with a name like Greenland, who wouldn't be curious? According to ancient sagas, Eric once said, "People will be more likely to go there if it has a good name." And it worked. Dozens of Norse families followed him, bringing livestock, seeds, and dreams of a better life. But reality was far colder. Short summers, frozen soil, and tough survival. They built stone houses, hunted walrus, and endured until the settlements slowly vanished by the 1400s. Historians still debate why. Was it the Little Ice Age? Lost contact with Europe? Conflict with Inuit natives? Meanwhile, Iceland, with a colder-sounding name, actually fared much better, thanks to the Gulf Stream and a milder climate. The irony? A name misled generations. Greenland was green for a few weeks each year, but frozen for the rest. This story makes us laugh, but also reflect. We're often drawn to what sounds promising. Sometimes, All it takes is a beautiful name to overlook a harsh reality. But Greenland isn't just a relic of broken promises. It's changing fast. Because beneath all that ice, something valuable is emerging. 3. Greenland's future. Could it shape the world? When people hear Greenland, they think of glaciers. And that's true. Massive sheets of ice cover most of the island. But today, something that seemed eternal is beginning to melt. Climate change is not just a distant worry, it's happening right here, under Greenlanders' feet. Every summer, rivers of melting ice flow to the sea. And what's left behind? Resources. Beneath the ice lie rare earth minerals used in phones, EVs, and advanced weaponry. There's also oil, gas, and uranium, untouched, but increasingly accessible. That's why in 2019, President Donald Trump made headlines by suggesting the U.S. buy Greenland. It sounded absurd, even comical. But if you think about it, the U.S. bought Alaska from Russia, Louisiana from France, and Greenland? It sits between North America and Europe, right where future Arctic shipping routes might emerge. The U.S. already has an airbase in Thule, Greenland, watching satellites, monitoring missiles, and playing a quiet but crucial role in Arctic defense. As the Arctic warms, new sea routes could cut travel time between Asia and Europe, bypassing the Suez Canal. That could turn Greenland into a global crossroads, a cold hub of trade, security, and power. But amid all this geopolitical maneuvering, Greenland's people, mostly native Inuit, are asking a different question. Can we finally be independent? Today, Greenland is an autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark. But in recent years, the push for full independence has grown, especially as locals believe they can manage their own resources. One Greenlander once told me, "We've survived thousands of years in this cold. If change is coming, we want to be part of it." So, what will Greenland become? An Arctic Dubai? A military outpost? An overexploited frontier? Or a self-reliant nation where people and nature coexist on their own terms? To answer that, we need to go beyond politics. Let's step into the daily life of those who live on the edge of the world. 4. Life at the edge, what it's really like in Greenland. If you think your town is remote, try living in a village of just a few hundred people surrounded by snow, with no roads to the next town. No big supermarkets. No movie theaters. No Starbucks. Just you, your neighbors, and a white horizon stretching as far as the eye can see. That's life in Greenland. Even in Nuuk, the capital, only about 18,000 people live there. The rest are scattered along the coast in small, isolated towns. There are no highways, just boats in summer or small planes year-round. Everything is expensive. Milk can cost 3 times more than in the U.S. Fresh vegetables? Imported from Denmark. And sometimes delayed for days due to weather. There are no McDonald's here, but cozy local diners serve reindeer stew, fresh cod, and cakes baked with grandma's hands. Winters are long. In some towns, the sun rises for only a couple of hours and barely lights the sky. To Greenlanders, light is precious. Come spring, when the sun returns. If today's story touched you, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next journey to another extraordinary corner of the planet. Thank you for watching.